Right, looks like we're live. Good start. Hello, everyone. There we go. So, how's it going? Extra race for you tonight on Saturday. A little bit of late night streaming going on here in ALR. We've got tier 4 white once again. This is round 4. The previous round saw Shadow really close the gap on who's leading. Matthew in the Viper. Citron versus Viper title battle is one that we've never seen before in ALR. Doubt we'll see it again either. The gap's still over 20 points in Matthew's favour, and now he's got a circuit that should suit the Viper a little bit better. Although some of these corners might be a bit tough, especially the long ones, to make it round. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Let's go through the grid quickly for this sprint. 5 laps around a very long circuit here, Sainte Croix. We've got Khan lining up in P16 in the Renault. Then we've got JP. What car is that? Looks like JP's in the Nissan GTR. So he should be doing a bit better than that. Maybe just not used to this track. It is one that isn't very well used. We got Wally, who finished P4 in the end in the feature last week in the Ford GT. He's 14th on the grid, followed by Jezza. In the Viper, he dropped from 2nd to 5th in the standings. So we'll be looking to make some positions, especially with how quick that car starts. Then we got the other Nissan GTR Juho lining up in 12th place, followed by Falcon in the other Ford in 11th. NTO in 10th in the other Renault, so the highest Renault's only in 10th place. There we've got Rocket in the Nissan GTR, 13 in 9th. Matthew is in 8th in the Dodge. Munkin's in 7th in the Lexus. Okay, good quality there. 6th for Udale in the GR Supra. Then we've got, it's Charizard. You can see right there, it says he's in P1, but he's not. He's actually 5th place on the grid in the Citroen, followed by, who is in P4, Boa. In the other Nissan GTR, the 18 version, I think, or is it the 13? I can't remember. Zelda's in the GR Supra. Then we got Monty in 2nd place, putting in a good lap in the Lexus, right next to the man with 2 wins last week. It is Shadow in pole position, getting another pole position point to add to what's been a good start for him. So he is in 1st, and Matthew's down in 8th. So we'll see what happens in the start. Let's get going. Who's going to react well enough to the lights? It looks like a false start there for Shadow. Potentially for Monty as well, because Monty's got away incredibly poorly, and it looks like Boa is about to get past all of them. There he goes into turn 1. Shadow's holding it around the inside. We've got 3 wide into turn 1. Charizard was trying to get in there as well, but Boa takes the lead of this race with a really good start there compared to everyone else. Everyone just slotting into position. Zelda in P4, Charizard in 3rd. Very tricky left-hander coming up here. Is everyone going to make it through? Not the best camera angles. Looks like someone's gone into the wall. Matthew's in 4th now, so great start for Matthew. Let's see what's happened a little bit further back. A lot of cars jostling for position. Juho up into 9th, so he's in the top 10 already. Munkin down 3 spots. And then I think it was Zelda who went into, yeah, there he is. Let's see, let's ride on board with how that went wrong for Zelda. Oh dear, he just lost it all on his own. Yeah, that's always bound to happen when you've got 14 cars behind you. Munkin gets pushed a little bit onto the grass there, and Rocket gets through up into 8th, so a great start for the Nissan GTR 13s. We got Shadow putting some pressure on Boa around here. Boa going really wide around that corner is going to open the door if Shadow can get a good exit from this corner. It looks like Boa got a pretty decent exit as well, so it's a Citroen 2-3 with Boa currently leading the pack. The only team in all 7 tiers to choose the 2013 version of the Nissan GTR, and he's actually leading the race. Not one I think they'll be picking again, to be honest. Let's see what Shadow can do. We're about to go on to quite a long back straight here. One of many on this track. He's got the slipstream pretty well on Boa. So I think he should be able to go for a move. If he stays within the slipstream, he's not in the slipstream right now. Now he's got into it. Good thing about this Citroen is it does have 7th gear, which does help it. He could have really gone for the move there, but he's decided not to. Decided to stay behind for now. Boa may get a penalty for that. I think he's got to... Oh no, there it is, half a second, just quite late to appear. So that will gift P1 to Shadow, by the looks of things. Everyone's pretty much single file further back as well. Let's have a little look further down, see if anyone else picked up a penalty. It's like everyone's made it pretty well. You got these guys battling quite low down. Zelda, Khan, and JP's definitely been in the wars all the way at the back now. So we've got a couple more corners before the penalty point here. Charizard's caught up to the back of Shadow, actually. So the top 5 pretty close together, then there's a little gap to Udele. Now this is the trickiest corner on the track. You don't need to brake, and you need to be taking most of it in full throttle. If you get the angle right, you minimise how much time you lose through there through lifting. And then that left hand is super difficult as well. Easy to lose a huge chunk of time there if you go wide. So there's half-second penalty served by Boa. Shadow goes comfortably in front. Boa will slot in P2 and maybe try and get a move on the home straight here as we finally finish lap 1. And it's not gonna quite work out on the comps grind. Yes, indeed. So we finished lap 1. We got 2 Citroens in P1 and P3. So once again, the Citroen absolutely dominating this tier. A little bit further back, the battle for reverse grid pole. Wally is currently in reverse grid pole now. Duos, excuse me, dropped back a couple of positions. And we're about to see potentially how difficult the Dodge is to drive here compared to the car behind, although he did get a good exit out of that corner. And he's catching up to Wally, who's got a bit wide on the exit. So we might see a few more changes in positions. Falcon looking a bit racy here as well versus Duo. Has to tuck in behind for now. Yeah, a little bit wide on the exit. Could have got alongside Duo already if he nailed the corner there. Duo's going defensive, and this really tight left-hander with gravel on the outside, so if you get on the throttle too early you end up in the gravel and spinning the car. Let's see what's going on further up. What about this battle for P1? Bo is still pretty close to the back of Shadow. He's got some nice slipstream on the back straight now. So Bo on for a good result, even though he's lost the lead there. He looked into the lead a little bit because P1 and P2 had some false start issues. Monty probably reacting to Shadow going and getting himself a false start actually ended up penalising him worse. Had a great exit there for Boa. If this straight was a little bit longer, he would have been able to pull alongside, but he's got to tuck in behind. Shadow going a little bit wide around there as well. So he's under a lot of pressure right now, Shadow. This isn't as straightforward as Watkins looks. He's having to fight. And yeah, Boa backs out of it. Again, he could have gone alongside and gone for the move. The door was being left open here. Now here's the long right-hander. Let's see how Boa tackles it. He's currently on full throttle. He's got not the best line through here. He's lifted a lot, gone down to 4th, and then up into 5th and out again. But you can see Shadow just driving away from him on the second part of that. And a bit wide there for Boa. He's going to lose even more time now. But Charizard's a bit too far back to trouble him. See if anyone else is close to drivers. It looks like we've got NTO having a move on Udele here. Just before the final corner. Is the switch back on for Udele? It should be. I think he can out-drag the Renault here. He's starting to pull alongside. This should be fairly straightforward for Udele as long as he nails this braking point. And he does. He's a little bit wide on the exit though. That's going to allow NTO potentially to pull alongside again, but they both go on the grass there. That's going to kill a little bit of momentum. Oh, NTO. Oh, a little bit of a bump there. NTO's going to let him back past as well. It was 99% done, that move. And then just that tiny bit of contact resulted in a little bit of a nudge off track there. And Udele gets that position back for at least a few more corners. NTO's going to line him up again on the exit of here, I'm sure. Ooh, he's got a good exit here. There's a little move going on further forward. Charizard now having a move on Boa, so Boa's dropped off the back of Shadow. Must have made a mistake somewhere. Now Charizard's all over the back of him, not able to get the move done just yet, but we've got Boa, Matthew, Charizard and Monty all in this fight. And Charizard might be lining up a move if he can stay close around here. A corner where you don't have to brake, actually. And I did see a lot of drivers braking for that corner. But if you get the angle right, just like with the other really long corner on this track, you can stay at least a little bit on throttle the entire corner. And that was a good overtake there for Charizard. It was made a little bit easy now. Boa's already coming under pressure from the Viper. Matthew, the championship leader, trying to get himself into podium positions behind the Citroens. And it looks like Matthew's got that position. Is Monty going to follow through as well? This is going from bad to worse for Boa. Was leading. He's thinking about a move on Matthew. Going to be side by side, and he actually muscles that position out of Matthew's hands. Matthew's going to have to try and get into the slipstream and then maybe do a little dive bomb here with Monty just lurking in the background as well. We've got three cars incredibly close now. And a good exit there for Boa means that he survives a little bit longer. Back up into the podium positions. Monty's really close to Matthew now. See, that's the disadvantage of the Dodge. It hates corners with a passion. It doesn't know what to do with them, and he's should be pretty much safe here. You just can't overtake the Dodge unless you are right at the rear bumper of it at the start of the straight, which is difficult to do with dirty air, especially with the having to adjust how you take the corner with the Dodge being a bit slower on a lot of the corners here. Now he's going to drive away. You can see the gap just opening up. Matthew's thinking about a move back on Boa now, just in two short straights. Now you see Monty closing massively, taking turn one so much better there. And once again, a good exit, nearly spanned the car out, lost a bit of momentum as a result. Gets a little bit, I don't know what's happening there, maybe a little bit of netcode, but nearly collected Matthew. Matthew gets away from him though. Charizard not really driving away that much from Boa, not like how Shadow Wolf is. Look how far his lead is, you can't even see the driver behind. There's Charizard in the distance there. A 304 is the fastest so far for Shadow. Might be difficult to see that beaten now that the tyres are starting to wear. So Matthew's task really at this point is to stay as close as possible to Boa up to this point. He's allowed Boa to get away, which means he'll spend the next straight trying to catch up to him and then start losing some ground again. And in fact he's having to defend from Monty as well. Monty a little bit laggy by the looks of things. But this is just going to be a drag race between the two of them. Then you've got Udele closing the gap with NTO just behind as well. So we're going to have a nice little four-way fight here for P4. There's Boa just a little bit ahead. Charizard might have had a little mistake there. It looks like he's not as far in front anymore. Oh, something happened with Matthew, I think. Something happened with all these guys. Let's go into a different view and see what happened here. Monty brakes incredibly late for the corner, manages to avoid everyone, and then takes a really different exit. Gets a good exit there. Then you just see NTO tail slapping the wall there. Monty going on for a late move up the corner and is trying to get the switchback done on Matthew. And now they're going to have a little drag race. Udelay's in, potentially going to get both of them in the next braking zone. He looks like he's definitely ahead of Monty now. Braking zone here. So that's just one position. Maybe this is a good track for the Super as well, so I'm not surprised Udelay's this far up. So next on his list is Matthew. I think a podium's on the cards here for Udelay. He looks to be a little bit quicker than these two. Matthew going really deep and losing loads of time because he couldn't hit the apex on the exit. Udelay's absolutely sent it. Bit of contact between the pair of them. And what's he doing? He thought about waiting and then decided, oh no, he is waiting. So this is a disaster for Matthew in his championship fight. Udelay's got going again. And there's a huge gap back to P9 with all the fighting that's been going on that we haven't actually seen. So there's Matthew. He's potentially going to lose the lead of the championship because he waited. And he's going to lose another position to Jezza as well. And here's Rocket trying to get past too. Matthew doesn't have any damage on his car, so he could potentially just get past his teammate once again here. He actually goes for the bump instead. And there's Rocket. As a result of that bump, Rocket could just cruise up to him. It's a bit of a precarious situation for the Dodgers as we start the final lap. And Falcon's trying to get a reverse grid pole as well, just behind. And a good exit from that corner for Falcon. Gets alongside Rocket and is going to take that P10. So Rocket all of a sudden finds himself outside the top 10 after running the whole race inside of it. Falcon having a good little recovery drive from what must have been a little incident earlier on. Yeah, 3:21 that lap for Matthew. That is not good. And an 18 for Udelay. There's got a little battle between NTO and Monty here. What's happened here? Monty comfortably ahead. And yeah, just a good exit there. Opens the door. Monty's not actually defending either. And NTO's going to just take that. Yeah, quite a straightforward overtake in the end. So two Lexus in the top 6 at least. Monty's going to go for it on the inside though. The door was left open again. Now let's see, can NTO hold it around the outside, or is he going to try and get a switch back? He's holding it around the outside. Looks like he's going to get away with it. That's a great overtake around the outside. You don't see that very often on that corner. So this seems to be a good track for the Renault by the looks of things. Bova gets away with it in 3rd place. He's not under any pressure anymore. There's Monty considering going for a move, but his line's going to be a bit compromised on the exit now. So he might have to settle for 5th here, a little bit further up. Shadow's just going over the bridge for the 5th and final time, and then there's quite a big gap to his teammate, but it looks like it's going to be a Citroen 1-2 now. Just like in the previous sprint race. I've heard its handling is much better than other cars. More difficult to spin it. So if you're looking for something that's really stable next season, and you're not planning on being in tier 4, because it's definitely banned here but nowhere else, might not be a bad shout to pick up the Citroen. Clearly it is massively fast. Just remember, these guys were all put in the same tier because the pace that they showed was quite similar. And Boa is still comfortably ahead. NTO's actually caught it pretty decently on this lap, but it's not going to be enough. Shadow is just approaching the final corner now. And yeah, he started on pole position, lost the lead because of a false start, got it back, and as soon as he got it back, he never looked back. He's going to get the fastest lap point as well, so 17 points out of a possible 17 so far tonight for Shadow. Charizard's going to complete The 1-2 for Citroën is going to probably put them in first place in the Constructors already at this point. What's happened? What's happened to Boa? He's going to lose this position because he's missed the corner completely. NTO is just going to say thank you very much. Hits the wall as well, which is going to affect the momentum. And it's not much of a drag race to the line. Oh, and I don't know what happened there. Was there a bit of lag? Boa ended up getting third in the end. That's really strange. NTO fourth, Monty fifth, Monken sixth. Then a big gap back to Udale, who had that one incident. Lost 11 seconds down in 7th. Matthew 8th, who waited for him. 9th for Jezza and 10th for Falcon. And then just missing out on the reverse grid positions, Rocket, Wally, Doeslayer. Juho really far back. And JP a couple of seconds behind him. And then Khan is going to be P16. So it's interesting because sometimes he's like tier 2 pace, but obviously hasn't got to grips with this track. Unlike his teammate who was in P4. Right, let's find this feature. That was a good sprint. The Citroën just looks crazy though. I don't think it's as good as they're making it look. It's good obviously, but it can't be that good surely. Right, where is this feature? There we go, that was easy. So at this point, it looks a little bit precarious for Matthew. He needs a really good feature race. He's starting in P3 to keep his championship lead like solid, because he just got about 10, maybe 14 points. Actually, chunked out of that 20. I think it was a 23-point lead coming into today. So yeah, he just needs to consistently stay ahead of his title rival, Shadow, who clearly is his title rival. I think at this point Charizard's up there too, but he already missed round 2. So he's not really in the fight here, but yeah, Shadow seems to have the pace on him anyway. Let's see what the strategies are going to be, because you can 2-stop here. I think we'll see some of that. Maybe was it a 3-stop, and some people are going to try a 1-stop. So yeah, everything's possible. The pit lane's really short. The tires wear pretty fast on 5 times. So let's have a look, see who's starting on anything that's not hards. Duo's going to be on mediums. Wally's on soft, so watch out for him at the start. Mediums for NTO, for Monty, and then mediums for Matthew and Jezza and Falcon. So all of the top 3 are going to be on medium tires. So they should, in theory, be able to break away, and if they can, that's going to bode well. But here's Falcon at the start. He's already going a little bit defensive on Jezza. Some really bad camera angles at this track. Falcon, yeah, going defensive into the corner. Goes a little bit wide, but so does Jezza. Matthew might actually swoop past Jezza here as a result. And remember, these are teammates, so I don't think Jezza's going to make it too difficult here. And there we go. What's happening a little bit further back? Udale still in P4 on those hard tyres. Munken's on hards ahead of NTO, who's on the medium, so he's going to have to try and get some positions here. He's going to try and move on the outside of Munken potentially. Munken's going defensive into this corner. Monty's trying to get him as well. It looks like Monty's going to get that. So NTO's struggling a little bit on this opening lap, a little bit further back. We've got Charizard trying to get past Boa already, and Shadow's actually dropped behind Wally, who's on the softs, remember. So that does make sense that he would drop behind. That should be a pretty straightforward overtake on softs. Yeah, Shadow losing a bit of traction means that Wally could just slot up into 10th, but he's got a lot of positions to make up here. Monty trying to stay ahead of NTO, and then we've got, there's a driver, Udale actually went past Jezza at some point. So Udale passes Jezza into here, and then maybe just gets a bit too excited, goes off track the very next corner. Great overtake. Little bit late on the throttle, but manages to avoid the gravel. Jezza right behind him. Udele leaves loads of space there just because Jezza placed his car on the right and catches himself out. A bit of an unforced error, that one. Munken's going to slide through as well. Munken is on the hard, so Munken's actually the highest place driver on hard tyres at the moment. I was going to try and move on Jezza. Jezza's got the power of the Ford, but he is in the slip. He stayed in the slip. Now he's got out the slip a little bit, so he's definitely not going for the move. Someone just went into... Oh dear, what's going on back there? Who was it? Who was it? It's Monty! One more time, one more time. How did this happen? And look at all the cars jostling for position behind as well. So Munken and Udele just ahead. Monty gets a little punt from Boa. Oh, sucks when that happens. Absolutely not your fault, but you're going to be in last place, and everyone else seems to get away with it. Everyone's still really bunched together here. Shadow in 10th now. He's got a bunch of drivers just ahead. Where's Wally? Wally's up into 6th now in the on his soft tyres. This is going pretty good. Boa's just gone onto the grass. He's going to lose that position at NTO. It looks like Shadow's going to go through, and Shadow gets past his teammate Charizard as well. So that's a couple of positions already. Is he going to make it 3 on NTO if he's really brave on the brakes? Everyone not really negotiating that corner the best, but Shadow is going to keep ahead. Now, Wally might get Udele here around here because his soft tyres, even though this car's not very good around corners like this, on the softs it should be. Oh, look at that exit. Yeah, surely. He's gone the wrong way though. He's going to have to do it the hard way around the outside of this final corner. It looks like there's an overtake going on a bit further forward. We'll have a quick look at that in a second as well. Oh, wow. There we go then. So the defense turned into an attack. Further forward, we've got Matthew in the lead with Falcon in 2nd and Jezza in 3rd, all having a look at each other into turn 1. But yeah, Matthew leading the race on his mediums at the start of lap 2. So the race has started as well as it possibly could for him. His title rival's down in 8th and has a lot of overtaking to do. Yeah, I won't go back. Jez is still in there. Oh, Falcon hits the wall a little bit. Doesn't have any damage. But that might allow Jezza to have a little look. He might be on for a dodge 1-2 here. Munken's still in with these guys. Munken, remember, he's on the hard, so he's doing incredibly well so far. Yeah, but there you go, there's the mediums having much better traction on the exit, and that's where you lose a little bit of ground. So potentially only able to keep up with these three because they were fighting each other. And now that they might spread out a little bit, Monken might drop off the back, unless Jezza decides to have a little go at Falcon. They're still pretty close. Now let's see if there's any braking. There is a little bit of braking on the hard tyres for Munken. And really late to go on full throttle. Wally's got 2 seconds. That's going to massively hamper him on his soft run. Look at this. Look at the speed of that Ford GT on the softs. Got a much better exit than Munken did from the corner. Now he's going to try and get past. Munken should just concede this. He's going to get the position back anyway. And a good little overtake there for Wally. And Falcon doing pretty good so far as well. Holding up Jezza a little bit, I think. But yeah, it's working out alright currently. Matthew's pulling a little bit of a gap as well. So this is working out good for Matthew. What's happening with Udele down in 8th place? He's caught... He's just gone into the wall. I don't even know, man. Just jerking the car to the left a little bit too much when you you're accelerating at that kind of speed. Just going to spin your car around completely, and he's got really good pace, but that is a big setback for sure. Falcon is at the head of a bit of a train now. Wally with the penalty, then there's NTO, and there's also Munkin not too far behind. He's dropped back a little bit now. So yeah, Wally got past NTO as well, but he's going to lose these positions. So there's one. Monty's got a penalty to serve as well, so through goes Shadow. He's going to go up into the top 5. So some gifted positions there for Shadow. Making it a little bit easy. Something's gone on further forward. Falcon must have got a terrible exit from that final corner. And he's just decided to go ultra defensive. But look at the exit Jez has got. He's got much better speed down this straight. He might pull alongside, but Falcon, no, he's done just about enough. Yeah, Jez is going to have to keep trying. He's got NTO not too far behind. Then we've got Wally having a nice little drag race with Shadow, trying to get that position back. Remember, he's on the softs and Shadow's on the hard, so he should still have the tyre advantage. Yeah, and there's not much Shadow could do there, but he'll get that position back in the pits. Wally's tyres are already 50% worn, so I wonder if he's going to do 4 on the softs. I think that's going to be the strategy. Here we go, Falcon struggling again through some of these corners. Jez is caught up, and NTO is starting to harry them as well. Beautiful start to the race so far for Matthew. Matthew on that lap was 3 seconds quicker than Falcon. So if he's 3 seconds a lap faster, then Falcon's definitely holding these guys up. Yeah, the lead might be unassailable, even if Matthew has to come in an extra time than some of these guys. If this carries on for much longer. NTO's trying to get Jezza. Look at the much better exit there from the corner for NTO. He's going to lose this drag race quite convincingly. That's the downside of the Renault. Corners incredibly well, and it's really good at low speed acceleration, but as soon as you get into about 5th gear, it forgets what acceleration is, and other cars, especially a car like the Dodge, can just breeze past to keep it. He is better on the brakes than the Dodge though. The Dodge completely outbrakes himself there, just proving my point. And a bit dodgy on the acceleration. NTO, yeah, not advisable to go for a dive at this one, but potentially the next corner if he gets a good exit. Falcon gets a terrible exit. Jezza didn't get a great exit either. NTO gets a much smoother exit as the banking goes quite steep suddenly. He's going to have to be brave on the brakes here if he wants to pull alongside. Instead, Jezza nearly goes into the back of CI Falcon, who must have braked a little bit too early there for Jezza, and it might open the door for NTO now. Jezza shuts the door pretty nicely. And as we brake for the penultimate corner, this could be another great exit for NTO. A little bit too good. Now he's fully in the slipstream. He's going to have to try and get the move done as quickly as possible now, because he keeps catching up and then losing ground in the corners. And he goes a little wide around that corner as a result, but he's... oh dear. Yeah, Jezza wasn't going to see that happening. And he gets away with it, yeah. You have to try and put your car somewhere, but it was fully off track. Wally is going around for a 4th time on his softs. He's still 6th place after serving his penalty. Boa and Charizard going side by side here. And Charizard going a little bit wide around that corner, loses the position. Might lose another one. Munkin's dropped down to 10th now as well. So the hard-tired guys just trying to survive at this stage, even though they're losing a bit of ground now. Charizard just hits I think that might have been, yeah, that was definitely one that was reported as well. I think the one in the previous race wasn't reported. This one I think was. And you're just going to see Charizard just, yeah, goes a little bit too deep in the corner, hits Doslayer off. It seems like NTO has just got past Jezza as well, so Jezza's defense is about to come a little bit unstuck here. Yeah, too deep into the corner again, just like what we saw previously with Charizard. And Jezza's just not got any pace to try and battle with NTO, and now NTO's already in the top 3. And he might be in the top 2 fairly soon. So it seems like quite a reliable car, the Renault, especially around the corners. Could potentially win this race. I think he's got some pretty good pace. I'd like to see what he could do on a lap without any traffic. He's not had any of that yet. And he's dropping Jezza pretty quickly. Jezza's still got a gap behind Shadow, who's trying to catch on the hards, but Shadow's the highest placed hard runner currently. So he's doing really well getting himself to the head of that kind of field. Wally is starting to struggle now. Boa's just behind him. His tyres are going off, and Boa really sending it into this corner. I think neither of them took that one too well, and Wally's going to be able to try and get him back at least on the straight. Look at that, 2.8 seconds off of his previous fastest, which is only a 3:11, so he's definitely not took full advantage of the fact that he's on the soft tyres. He should be at least 5 seconds quicker, surely. Maybe 4, I'll give him 4. And he hits the wall there, that's not ideal. Boa's going to be really close to him again. And Wally goes deep. And it's going to be another drag race. Thought there wasn't going to be enough space there, but there was. Oh, he's going to be brave on the brakes. I think Boa's going to get away from him now. Let's see what Matthew's up to up front. So his last lap again, an 8.5 compared to a 9.6. So Falcon only 1.1 seconds down on him that lap. Settled into a rhythm on these tyres. NTO is catching him slowly, but not enough. Shadow started to catch Jezza, and Boa is ahead of Wally. I knew I'd lose that. So here they come. They were drag racing. Yeah, and then he won that battle. I think we did see that. Anyway, JP's up into 10th. Where's he come from? I haven't seen him at all. Where did our first pitter go? Who is our first pitter? Wally, but he's not actually come in yet. So we'll have to see where he comes out. Surprised no one came in a bit earlier and tried a little bit of a different strategy. Saw that in a few tiers. But yeah, lap 4 is definitely the time to come in if you're on the softs. Wally might go for a little bit of a splash and dash on some fresh softs, or he might go for a longer medium stint. We'll have to see. He's going to drop close to the back. So that means Charizard's up into 7th, Munkin's 8th, JP's 9th now, and Juho is 10th. Wally is changing his tyres now, and he is putting in some fuel. How much? Quite a lot, actually. Now he's dropping all the way to the back of the field, 86. So he's going for a long medium stint now. He's got some clear air, can try and get an undercut on everyone else who's on worn tyres at this point. Look at Matthew's front left, it's struggling quite badly, so maybe he's going to come in at the end of this lap. Falcon's tyres are in much better nick, as are NTO's. Jez is a little bit, well actually they're quite similar to his teammates. And Shadow will be starting to reel in these guys now. He's still going quicker on every lap because those hards don't wear anywhere near as hard unless you're in Boa's car. His hards are pretty much 50% now. Now Charizard just ahead of Munkin. Charizard's tyres much better as well. Duo's mediums are pretty similar to JP's hards, and they're in the same car. So how do you explain that? JP's much harder on his tyres, clearly. If he could figure out how to drive on the tyres, I think he'd find a lot of time in these races. Let's join this little battle. It looks like Munkin's shaping up for a move on Charizard. Looks fairly easy, I've got to say. Yeah, Andy's fully ahead before the braking zone. So good little overtake there for Munkin. And he consolidates that overtake. Where's Falcon? There he is. So Matthew currently 1.5 seconds down on his time. And Falcon's pretty close to his best. Although that means that they're probably lapping quite similarly. Falcon under a lot of pressure now from NTO. Let's see if NTO can get a move done. Oh, a little bit of a clattering of the wall as well. And yeah, Falcon's taking too tight a line here. He's going to have to brake a little bit too much, and he just leaves the door open. That is a very straightforward overtake for NTO to do. Falcon's still sticking it in there. He's going to try and take the corner. Yeah, misses the apex completely and makes contact with NTO, and he keeps the position as a result of that. Flashes his lights. I don't know what that means. Like, sorry, but I'm keeping the position. I don't know. Anyone coming in this time? Matthew is in the pits off of his mediums. This is going to be difficult for him with the high tyre wear that he's got. Jez is coming in as well, team strategy. That puts Shadow up into 3rd place. He's definitely going to do the 1-stop, I reckon. Boa goes through up into 4th. Munkin's through as well. And Charizard. Let's see how much fuel Matthew puts in. Quite a lot. Wow, he's going to go full. Okay. He's on mediums again, so this means whenever he comes in, he's going to be able to put in less fuel. So he's out behind Udale, he's ahead of his teammate Jezza, he's ahead of Rocket. Wally had made his pit stop, he's down in 15th. So they are at the head of the guys who've actually come in. And he's got some good clear air now. Udale on his hard tyres is a good few seconds ahead currently. Probably not for too much longer if he takes corners like that though. Oh, Munkin's off! What's happened? A comfortable P5, holding off Charizard pretty well after getting the overtake done. Coming up to this corner, tyres still shouldn't be holding out on him. He's having to brake mid-corner, and yeah, probably needed to slam the brakes on instead of coast around through it. And he doesn't get any damage, but it has let Charizard back through. At least 2 or 3 seconds lost there as well. Juho and JP aren't actually too far behind either. So everyone's pretty close together in this little fight. And then further up, Shadow is potentially starting to catch Falcon. Falcon's not too far behind NTO, but NTO seems to be the guy who has made all of the moves so far this race. Big impression in the Renault for sure. So we're about halfway through-ish. Give it another lap and we will be. The order is settling down. It's looking like a potential home victory for NTO. His tyres are still a little bit better than Falcon's as well. But it seems like they've kind of equalised in terms of pace. Which means Shadow might start catching them before too long. Shadow on the hard tyres will be staying out longer, so they'll get a bit of an undercut on him and should create a bit of an extra gap. Then a little bit cut off is Boa, then a long way back is this battle, so Munkin's still hounding Charizard after losing that position. Close pace between the two of them for sure. Look at the speed. And he backs out of it. Ooh, very close to a penalty there for Munkin as well, but I think he got away with it. Again, what's the angle going to look like? Again, it looks like Munkin's getting a better angle in. Maybe he turned in a little bit too early though. And Charizard survives that one. NTO must have made a mistake because Falcon's completely closed the gap. NTO's coming into the box now. Falcon's thought about following him in and decided not to. Some interesting... oh, and he's... What the hell is going on here? Look at this. What's going on? What's happening? thinking about going in, nearly hits the wall there. He's twitching his car left and right. Now he goes completely to the left. Was he looking at his phone or something? Gives himself some damage. This is going to allow Shadow to close right up to him for the next 30 seconds with the damage that he's got. And he goes completely wide. Shadow doesn't really take the corner that well either. We'll have to see what's going on a bit further down. Juho's actually got a run on Munkin. And yeah, Duo takes that corner beautifully to take that position. JP getting a bit of a nudge around turn 1 from Zelda. Then there's Udale. Matthew is ahead of NTO. Jezza looks like he's ahead of NTO. NTO's coming out of the pits now. Got to clear air himself on the hard tyres. Bit slow around that corner after coming out of the pits. And he carries on. Then right at the back, Wally is struggling to make progress. After coming out at the rear. He's only in 15th right now, behind Monty, who's already pit. Looks like Khan really missed the entry to that corner there, so Wally gets through, and now he's going to try and chase down Rocket on these mediums as well. Oh, but he goes too deep. So that's that. Where's the other battles? Oh wow, we've got JP and Zelda really close together here. Both of them in 2 of the best cars, the Nissan and the Supra. Supra's probably a little bit better around here. And he'll be lining up JP just here. Is he going to brake for this corner? He brakes massively for this. And that's why JP, well, basically because he brakes fully, it stopped him turning the car as effectively as if he only just tapped the brakes. And that's allowed JP to completely drive away from him. And Udale's just got past him as well, for good measure, his teammate. So yeah, you have to be really careful on the brakes in that corner. Udale on a bit of a charge here. He's chasing down JP pretty quickly as well. What about a bit further up? Duo's caught up to Charizard and might be putting a bit of pressure on him. Duo's still on the mediums. Yeah, some of these guys have really got that corner sussed out. You can cut a lot of that first part of the chicane. Green bit. Put almost all of your car onto the green bit apart from your 2 left tyres, and you'll gain a huge amount of time there. But if you go over it with all 4 tyres, you get a big penalty, so that's the risk. Takes a bit of practice. Charizard a bit wide through there. That's going to close Juho in nicely. Let's see if anyone's coming into the pits. Looks like Shadow is finally into the pits now. Falcon is following him. He's always a bit unsure about if he wants to come in or not. Boa definitely in as well. Charizard, wow, look at the bad fuel in that Citroen though. Completely out of fuel compared to Boa. He's got 23%. Duo carries on for another lap on these mediums, which might not work out for him at the end. Munkin, his tyres are a little bit better on the hards. JP carrying on, Zelda carrying on. Matthew just ahead of Udale, managed to get a position there. Let's see what happened. How did Matthew get this? Udale just slow out of the corner, probably battling with Zelda. Then is Matthew trying to get an extra position here? He is going for it. And Zelda really good on the exit. A little bit of contact and Zelda gets the position. Let's go back to where we were. Good turn 1 there for Matthew. He might actually be able to pull alongside Zelda here. Remember, we think Matthew has to make another pit stop. Well, actually, yeah, he's done 2 centimeters. He's definitely stopping again, so he needs to get past Zelda and be a bit aggressive here. Zelda, yeah, you can't hang it around that corner, unfortunately. He's actually got into the grass as well. Can't bring much speed around there unless you're going to hit the apex. One of those corners that if you can't take it optimally, you lose a huge chunk of time. JP wide there now. That's going to bring him into the clutches of Matthew. This is for position. I think all these people are going to have to stop one more time. Including Jezza. NTO isn't going to have to stop one more time, and he's having a little bit of a contact with Shadow. Let's see what happened there. There's a big gap between them currently. Shadow on the mediums, NTO on the hards. NTO goes a little bit too deep, nearly spins it, and he's all out of shape for that corner. Shadow's going to try, oh, and he just misses the entry into the corner completely as well. So that would be a penalty if it was reported for NTO. And Shadow's going to have to regroup and try again. I don't think it's going to take him too long to catch back up to the back of NTO and have another go. Zelda and Udale pretty much on the same part of the track, on the same strategy as well. It's very similarly paced. JP behind Matthew now. Did we miss that one? It looks like we did miss that one. So this is going to be just the better tyres, potentially. Oh, JP nearly spins it on the exit. Again, it will have jerked his steering wheel a little bit too far to the left and lost a bit of traction as a result. And it looks like his tyres are giving up on him on these hard tyres, and Matthew's just going to sweep through there, up into third. And JP's going to benefit a little bit from slipstream at least, so help him down this back straight. I think Matthew's away now, for sure. But now Matthew has to try and make sure he finishes ahead of Shadow. That's the big challenge for him. Nearly span it as well. That's another about half second to a second loss there for JP. Yeah, he just needs to make it to the end of the lap essentially. Any other battles going on. NTO still ahead of Shadow. Boa's not too far behind. Doesn't look like he's going to make another pit stop. Wally is going to make another pit stop. He's still only 11th. And then Falcon, who was doing well at the start, finds himself in 12th now. Charizard, who's not going to have to pit, is down in 13th. I think, yeah, look at his lap times. His quickest is still in the 10s. Want to be in the aiming to be in the single digits even on the hard tyres. Rocket on pre-fresh mediums, out in 15th, and Khan on fresh softs. He's just going for using this as a test session potentially. Oh, unless he's going to try two soft stints. Oh, something's going on. Matthew's actually getting past Munkin. Was that a penalty to serve? It actually wasn't. Munkin's got a big gap here as well. So we've seen Shadow get gifted quite a few positions. This is going to be a gifted position for Matthew. Really good fortune for him because he could have lost a lot of time stuck behind Munkin. Munkin might be coming in this lap. It's not sure. I'm not sure. Giro has to. Can't get another lap out of those hard, medium tyres. In comes Munkin as well. JP is coming into Udale, following suit. Zelda following suit. That's going to promote Jezza up back into seconds. Shadow and Boa having a nice little battle. What's happened here? So NTO and Shadow having a little battle. NTO into the... oh dear. Into the barriers, and Boa's just going to take both of them potentially here. So a nice little double overtake on two of the quickest guys around here today. And that's going to make things a little bit more difficult for Shadow. And Boa's going to get promoted up into third now with all the, well, potentially only momentarily, because Shadow's managed to get his nose alongside. And he does get that position fairly straightforward. Is NTO going to be able to fight back? NTO's on the hard, so he can't really capitalise on these two fighting as much as he'd like. Shadow's going defensive into the corner. Like I said, you can't really go around the outside there because of the banking. Boa's going for a switchback, which he nearly pulled off. NTO might send it. You can't really send it there either, so he's wise to back out. And again, Boa's going to try and get alongside. But he's going to be on the outside here again, so Shadow should be able to box it off. But this is great news for the dodge. Oh, there we go. There's the position once again for Boa. And look at the strength of that car on the exit. Really quick on the exit compared to the Nissan. And yeah, these guys just keep changing positions, but the Dodgers are really driving away at the moment as a result of all this fighting. And it's going to continue into the next corner. And Boa covers it off well. He needs to, a little bit of a bump there, and another little bump. That wasn't the greatest overtake. I'm gonna say. I'll tell you why. Okay. So first of all, that was a little bit naughty, getting him a bit squirrely going in, and then at turning, he's not really alongside to be entitled to any space. Boa could completely chop him off here, and it would be completely legitimate. And there you can see is the contact that is going to push Boa a little bit out of the way, and then allow Shadow to drive through. That would be, in my opinion, a push to pass if it was reported. But Boa's going to get back into the slipstream now and try and take the position back anyway. And if he's brave, he can get it. I think he'll want to try and get it after how he just lost the position, and Shadow holds it beautifully around the outside. As a result, NTO is still lurking and trying to get that position off Boa. He's gonna make it work. Gives him a little nudge out of the way, but nothing too bad about that one. So NTO back up into P4. And remember, the Dodgers are going to have to make another pit stop. They do have quite a good lead at the moment. I wonder when that pit stop's coming. Matthew is not going to have to put in much fuel at all as well, because he overfueled massively at that first pit stop. So I hope that was strategic and not because he doesn't know how much fuel he needs to put in at the end of the race. So we need a good strategy to play out here if he's going to try and catch these guys. But Shadow's ahead of Boa. Boa is getting dropped a little bit with the fighting with NTO. Yeah, that wasn't as... It was quite good, actually. I'll give credit for that corner. But you shouldn't be lifting multiple times to make sure you make it round. You should be committed once you go full throttle all the way through the rest of the corner to make sure you're carrying enough speed. But yeah, sometimes you have to do that because you just know if you do that, your car's just going to fly off the track. Oh, just kind of like what just happened there. Into the wall a little bit. No damage, but Boa's going to gap them now. By quite a bit. Let's see what the lap times look like. Matthew in the 3-minute 10s, 3-minute 9 for Jez, his fastest lap so far, an 8 for Shadow, who's on fresher tyres, makes sense, 10 for Boa, 10 for NTO, a 10 for Juho, a 13 for Wally, and Falcon really wide there, also a 13, so these guys are probably having a little bit of a battle, a 9 for Munkin, pretty decent. JP's in the 10s, and then outside Charizard, again, like we said, he doesn't have to make another pit stop, so he's probably is in the top 10 once all those shake out. Lapping in the 9's pretty solid, Zelda in the 8's pretty solid, then Monty in the 10s, Udale in the 11s, Rocket in the 9's, nice to see, and then 11s for Khan, just set another 11 there. Oh, a little bit of the gravel, it's not going to penalise him too much actually. Manages to come around nicely. Jezza negotiates the corner a lot more safely there. Boa, Shadow really beautiful around there. Oh, nearly losing it. Oh, he does lose it. Oh, no. That's going to be another position loss to Juho now. Joe on the softs. I think he might be trying to go to the end on these soft tyres as well. So it's working out decently here. If he can hold it, bit of contact again and again and again. Held it quite nicely, the pair of them, though. Now it's a drag race, which I'd imagine Duo's going to win because of the damage. Monken and Wally having a battle now. Monken trying to get past Wally. There's Wally. He is fully ahead, and he's going to block him off now that he has got his car ahead. Wally's thinking about the move. I wouldn't really go for it. They actually make it through. Wally gets the position back fair and square there. So NTO got a lot of work to do on this, on these last 3 and a bit laps. Lost a bit of momentum. He has the pace to finish a lot higher than he is currently. He might get the position off Jezza when Jezza comes in. Might be a bit different for Matthew. Matthew's got quite the lead. I wish we had timing screens on replays so that we could actually see what the gaps were between these cars. I don't know why that's not possible. Oh, a 2-second penalty for Boa. I wonder if Duo's close enough to actually benefit from that. He might not be. Yeah, this is a harsh track penalties, because it's easy to cut some of these corners and you don't really gain that much time. But we did vote for strict. I always say that. That's what we voted for in the off-season last season. But now let's see. Matthew's in the pits. That means Jez is going to be following him as well. Are they going to be able to come out potentially ahead of Boa now? Boa's not been overtaken here. Matthew doesn't have to hardly put in any fuel anyway. He just needs 3 laps worth of fuel. Through goes Shadow to take the lead of the race once again. Looks like Boa's going to come through. Matthew is just coming out of the pits now. Duo's got past him. He's on mediums to the end. NTO still managed to stay ahead as well. So Matthew down into 5th. What's that going to do to Jezza? Charizard's up into 8th. Jezza's down into 10th with Charizard just getting muscled out of that position. Zelda up into 8th now ahead of Charizard. Both of them on mediums and fresh softs for Jezza. So he's going to be absolutely on fire on this lap. Might be able to make a few positions. Matthew stuck behind NTO. Matthew's also on the softs. NTO's still on the hard. So this should be a fairly straightforward overtake for Matthew. Oh dear, that's gonna do it. And yeah, he waits for him. Needed to not lose any time, to be honest, in order to have any chance of catching Shadow, but he does get the position anyway. I think NTO doesn't... Oh no, he's actually gone for it. I don't know what was going on there. A little bit deep for NTO, a bit too late on the brakes, and Matthew gets the position back. Now he's got clear air to try and catch Juho and Boa, who are fairly close together, and then Shadow seems to have gone off into the distance. A bit further back, he's still got Zelda and Charizard fighting. This seems to have been going on for about half a lap. Nowhere really for Zelda to go in the middle of that corner. But he should be able to get a good exit from here. Jez is lurking in the background as well. He's already caught up to the back of these guys. So we might see Jezza try and nick a position if Zelda doesn't go for a move on Charizard pretty soon. Yeah, he is going for it. Is Charizard going to be able to hold it around the outside? He doesn't really try to fight it, but Zelda just goes deep anyway, completely spins the car, and that is him out of contention. Looks like Jez has got the move done on Charizard as a result as well. Let's watch that again from Charizard's point of view. Jez just goes too deep. Bit of contact with the car as he was making his way around, because obviously there's no ghosting on, and Jezza gets past as well, and he just clatters the inside wall for good measure. So that's a good couple of positions there for Jezza. He's got another couple in his sights. Munkin and JP not too far ahead. How's Matthew doing? Catching up pretty quickly to Juho and Boa, so he could at least get P2 here. Juho didn't look like he took the chicane too well, lost a bit of ground to Boa, and let's see how the gap closes around this corner. Can he take it flat out? No, that's quite a big lift that the Dodge needs, even on soft tyres, to get around there. But he has closed the gap really nicely regardless on Juho, and he's completely left NTO. NTO's miles back already. So 2 more laps for Matthew to try and get second position. First place, can we even see first from here? Yeah, he's already gone past turn 1 before the lap's finished for Boa. Boa's just set his quickest lap. Shadow's in the 6s now, and he's got the quickest lap of the race, so he might be getting a perfect 43 points here. Matthew could beat that on these soft tyres if he has a normal lap. He's closing in pretty quickly to Juho now. Yeah, he's definitely got the pace today. He's going quicker than his previous best, but that's just an 8.5. We need to see a huge improvement here in the middle part of the lap. yeah, you can see he's taking the corners much better. Duo's struggling a little bit with the, that was a better corner for Duo, but the entry he was struggling with his line a little bit on these quite worn softs now. I wonder if Duo's going to actually make it to the end on these softs. He's already really struggling around pretty much every corner. And there you go, he's spanned the car. That's Matthew up into P3 without having to put up much of a fight. NTO's still quite far back, but this is going to be advantage to him with how the tyres are progressing. Let's see what Jez is doing. He's caught up to Munkin and JP now. So the Dodge is really alive at the end of this race, and a lot of the other guys are starting to struggle with the tyres. Now are we going to see a bit of a lift, tiny bit of a brake applied, and now he's on the full throttle. He could get on the full throttle a lot earlier than that if you get the rotation correct. Is he going to be brave in the brakes? He's got the better tyres for it. Munkin chops him off, and he can't get the move done just yet. Duo's going to have to defend really hard here, but let's have a look at Boa and Matthew. Matthew's completely... Ooh, did he actually hit the barrier there? It looked like he did, but that might have just been a bit of a lag spike. He is going purple by 3/4 of a second here, Matthew. So he might actually take this fastest lap off Shadow, which he needs to do. Every point really does count when you're in a championship fight. And I think he should get him here. He's taking a wide entry. That's quite a tight entry, and he's lifting quite a lot. Boa's going a bit wide here, and then he closes the door, excuse me, and he's lost about 6/10 of his fastest lap there. Boa, oh, this should be straightforward now. He might not get the fastest lap, but he is going to get the position. Up into P2 now for Matthew. So I think that means he's going to at least keep his championship lead. At the halfway point of the season, as long as he can bring it home here. Is he going to get the fastest lap as well? He doesn't. He misses out by 0.03 of a second with the overtake. So without the overtake, he would have had the fastest lap. Potentially could get it on this final one. Let's see what the tyres are looking like for Shadow. Fairly decent. He's not going to be have any issues. Matthew's not going to have any issues. Boa might not make the end. I'm going to be completely honest with that front left tyre. Same with Juho. I'm not sure if he's going to make the end. MTO might be on for a podium here after all. JP's looking pretty comfortable now, actually, on these tyres. Was struggling on the first set, not really struggling on this set, so not sure how that's happened. Everyone else looks pretty comfortable to the end. Monty and Dosley are having a little battle down in P11. Not sure what happened to them. Then Rocket's not too far behind. Then we've got Wally. He's on his soft tyres. Maybe he can go for a fastest lap. His fastest is a 3:10. Can definitely do a lot better than that. He's 8/10 down on this one though. And then we got Khan and Falcon just starting the final laps now. So quite a big spread between P1 and P16 in this race, which isn't a surprise. This is a track that you need to do a little bit of extra practice. That looks like NTO's just got past Juho somewhere. Oh, he's gone off. That's tough. That's because his tyres are completely dead though. Look at them. How is he going to make a half a lap with tyres like that? Look at that. NTO's about 2 seconds ahead already. JP, I think, might catch him as well, as long as he doesn't start battling with Munkin. Jez is going to come past Charizard here. That looks really easy to overtake for the Viper versus the Citroen. A little bit further forward, JP and Munkin won't be aware that Joe's tyres are completely dead. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would be working together. So JP on for a top 5 potentially. Yeah, Joe's dropping back every corner. Let's see how he takes this corner. Yeah, he can't. He just can't make the turn. Through goes JP on his teammate. Munkin is going to try and get 2 Nissans in one straight here. If JP going defensive, he needs to avoid getting a penalty here, and he does. Gets the position on Munkin. Duo's lost a position now to Jezza as well, so he's just going backwards really quickly. He's probably going to lose this position to Charizard as well. Let's go back to the front because Shadow Wolf is rounded the corner for the final time. He's going to take all 43 points, which is absolutely insane. Unless Matthew is on a faster lap here, I'm pretty sure he won't beat that fastest lap with how dead his tyres are at the end of this race. Timed his tyres to perfection here, made the 2-stop work well enough. P2 minimises the loss. Boa managing his tyres pretty well at the end, even though they were dead, takes P3. NTO recovering nicely to take P4. JP, a really good P5 there for JP. And for Munkin in 6th. Jezza in 7th. And Charizard in 8th. Juho ends up in 9th for his efforts. Udalay in 10th. Then a bit of a gap. These guys have been in the wars. You can see the times are all over the place. Zelda finishing in 11th. Rocket in 12th there. Monty with 2 bad laps to end the race. Wally with his ambitious 2-stop. Is this going to be his fastest lap? No, it was the 17. Then we got quite a big gap for these guys to finish. Are we actually going to see them actually finish the race here? I'm not too sure. So yeah, Falcon just not getting to grips with this track like he did last week, that's for sure. Let's find the standings and see how this all affected it as we wait for these last guys to cross the line. So this is 1 point for Falcon. And he goes into the pit, so potentially not even getting the 1 point. Khan, oh no, he does cross the line. Khan gets 0 points for the night, unfortunate for him. So what does that mean? That means Matthew's got an 8-point lead now ahead of Shadow. Hoo-hoo! Look how dead all 4 tyres are actually. Damn. Those 2 are massively ahead of everyone. Duo's in 3rd, Jezza's in 4th, Udalay's 5th. And we got Boa, Charizard, Munkin, NTO, and the band driver still in the top 10. In the constructors, the Dodge still has the lead over the Viper, despite the... Dodge still has the lead over the Citroen, despite the Citroen getting a couple of 1-2s here and there. So, yeah, the start to the season for the Vipers has been really strong. The Supras are in 3rd place. Nissan GTR 18 is in 4th place, and the 13 is somehow in 5th place, ahead of cars like the Lexus, Ferrari, and Renault. So that's it. Next time it's going to be at Lago Maggiore, the East version, which I reckon's going to suit probably the Nissan 13 actually, and the Citroen, not the Viper. The Ferrari's pretty good round there. The Lexus should be pretty good round there. So I don't know when I'll get around to it. Maybe tomorrow I'll do some more streaming. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. See you next time.